Hi folks, it's Jason Venckus, board certified holistic health coach with Momentum Fitness and Health, coming at you with another video today. This time we're going to be talking about labels. I understand that people still have a little bit of misconceptions as to what certain things on labels mean. So we've got 6 items here. You're only going to see the items. You're not going to see my wonderful face in this video. We have 6 items that we're going to go over very quickly here, going over some of just basic label reading as well as what some of the extra numbers that a lot of people may not understand. So some of these items are considered healthy, some of them are not, and you're going to find out just exactly which ones are healthy and which ones aren't in just a second here, just by going over these labels. So first I want to start with your standard cup of oatmeal here. So you've got your standard cup of oatmeal. On the very top you can see here it has serving size, 1 cup. Servings per container, 1. So eat everything in here and all these numbers are true. That's the thing to really pay attention to here. So you'll see you've got 190 calories, 25 of those calories come from fat because we're still, wondering about fat and all that fun stuff. Now, you've got your total fat, which is 2.5 grams, and then it gives you a percent value here on the side. You can see here 2.5 grams of fat is considered 4%. Now, that's on a 2,000 calorie diet. And now we know that not everybody can be on a 2,000 calorie diet. Some people need more, some people need less. So you have to kind of do the math on that. It tells you how much saturated fat and how much trans fat is in there. Now, the tricky thing about this trans fat, and it doesn't apply here, is that they don't have to label it unless there's at least half a gram. You see the saturated fat at half a gram at 3% is labeled. Now, trans fat, there can be trans fat in your food but not be labeled. In this case, that's not true, but when you're looking for your partially hydrogenated oils. So let's continue to go down here. 0 cholesterol, that's always good. Sodium, 190 milligrams, quite a bit of sodium. It tells you right there, 8%. Now your sodium, your potassium, and stuff like that, that is not based on a 2,000 calorie diet. That is based on what should be the average for everybody of normal health. Your potassium, 150 micrograms or 4%. Your total carbohydrates. So now your carbohydrates are going to consist of either fruits and vegetables that are in there as well as any sugars or any natural sugars as well. That dietary fiber that's in there, 5 grams or 20%. So you see you got your percent here. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. Your soluble fiber and your sugars. 12 grams of sugar in this little cup. Now remember, about 4 to 5 grams equals 1 teaspoon of sugar. So there is almost 3 teaspoons of sugar in just this little cup here. Now you notice there's no percentage on the side here. And the USDA says no more than 10 teaspoons of sugar, right? But there's no percentage in there. Probably don't really want you to know how much sugar is really in things. Lastly, we have your protein. 7 grams of protein. That's a good amount, 12%. And then it goes into your vitamin and mineral breakdown based on, again, not on 2,000 calorie diets, but what's suggested for people in general. See, there's a 2,000 calorie diet here, and then there's a 2,500 calorie diet here. And then it lists out your ingredients. I'm not going to get into all these different ingredients. I really just want to give you a basic idea of how to read the label. So, next up is our Raisin Bran here. So we'll go over Raisin Bran. Make sure we got enough space so you can see the whole thing. Now, you want to pay attention to the serving size. The serving size is 1 cup. There are 12 servings in this entire box. Now, the cereal just by itself is 210 calories. Plus, half a cup of milk, skim milk, makes it 250. So, you actually have to measure this out. 1 cup, 1 solid cup. Most people are eating 1.5 cups to 2 cups of cereal per day. So, you have to take that number and multiply it accordingly. And then again, pretty basic stuff. I'm not going to go over it again, but your fat and everything like that. Now what's really cool, look at the bottom of the box. If you've ever wondered how they figure out how to get the total calorie count, this is what you look at down here. You look at the fat. It says fat 9, carbohydrate 4, protein 4. So basically what that tells you is that for every gram of fat in this cereal, there's 9 calories per serving. For every gram of carbohydrates, there's 4 calories. And for every gram of protein, there's 4. So again, let's look at our box, and you can see we'll go from the bottom, 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. And then 4 times 45, this is where most of your calories are coming from, is 180. And then you're getting about 9 calories from fat. So as there's 1 gram of fat. Hopefully you can see that. I'm not getting a good preview here. But 1 gram of fat, 4 grams of protein, and then you multiply that by the number, and that's how you get your calorie content. So remember, 1 cup is a serving of this particular cereal. You have to read each label to find out what the serving size is. So next we've got our barbecue sauce. And the thing that I really want to point out the most on our barbecue sauce, well, if you look at the ingredients, it's pretty much corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup and then water. Those are your 2 biggest ingredients. There's some other questionable stuff in there, but again, we're not going to get into that. You got your red 40s and caramel coloring and all that. But it's important to note what the serving size is. Serving size for barbecue sauce is 2 tablespoons. There are 15 calories 15 servings in this bottle and 45 calories per serving. So if you're using more than 2 tablespoons and you're trying to calorie count, you need to, again, multiply accordingly, measure and then multiply accordingly. So make sure you're checking that out. Next, I want to bring up our energy drink. These are the scary ones, right? Our energy drink. This is definitely one to pay attention to. So, serving size is 8 fluid ounces, right? Servings per container is 2. So there's 2 servings in here, right? 2 servings. Your sugars are 27 grams. Now notice that your carbs say 27 grams, and your sugars are exactly the same. So all of your carbs are coming from added sugar, right? But remember, you might think this is only 27 grams of sugar. Hey, it's less than a can of soda because a can of soda's got 44 grams of sugar. But no, you have to multiply it by 2. So now you're getting 54 grams of sugar, and that is approximately 11, over 11. Sorry, it's like 12 or 13 teaspoons of sugar. It's 13 teaspoons of sugar in just this 1 can. Now remember, the USDA said no more than 10. So make sure that sugar, you're multiplying it by 2. So now I'll be told fairly often by parents, well, I don't, all that sugar, I don't give my kids all that sugar. I give them Gatorade instead of energy drinks. Well, let's bring out that bottle of Gatorade. So 54 grams of sugar in the Monster Energy drink. Let's find out how many grams of sugar are in our Gatorade. So a serving size is 12 fluid ounces. Now this right here, most people will drink a larger, the 32-ounce bottle, and this was 16 ounces. So most kids will end up drinking the larger size of this because, hey, you know what, it's better for them, they can drink more of it. And that's where we kind of get caught up at. And if you look, your first 3 ingredients are water, which is fine, but then sucrose and dextrose, which are both 2 kinds of sugars. Now there are 21 grams of sugar per serving. But let's go back up to the top. 12 fluid ounces. This is a 36-ounce bottle. Or 32-ounce bottle, rather. So you have to multiply that by 2.5. So that 2.5 ends up being about 50 grams of sugar. And remember, we had 54 grams of sugar. So this comes out to 13 teaspoons, and the Monster Energy drink actually comes to 13 and a half. So if your kid drinks this entire bottle, they're getting just as much sugar as they would if they were drinking the energy drink. It's always important to multiply that number. When you read this isn't 80 calories. This is 80 calories times 2.5. So it's 200 calories. And most of it is coming from sugar. See, there's no fat, no protein. It is just straight up sugar. One more label for us to read, and that is our can of fruit cocktail, packed in syrup. Okay, we think, okay, well, it's fruit, it's healthy, so let's eat it all up. Now this can right here, most people can eat half a can or probably the full can all on their own. And it's packed with peaches and grapes and maraschino cherries, which is a whole nother story. Look that up sometime, how they're made. But just let's look at the label for today. So we've got 100 calories, 0 from fat, 23 grams from sugar. So that's a lot of sugar per serving. So let's go up. What's our serving size? Half a cup or 127 grams. How many servings per container? 3.5. So if you were to eat this entire can of fruit cocktail thinking, hey, I'm eating fruit, I'm going to be eating less calories, think again. This is 350 calories for this entire thing. If you were to eat this without the syrup and eat fresh fruit, eat 3.5 cups, eat 3.5 cups of, or a cup and a half of fruit, you're definitely not going to get 350 calories. And you're definitely not going to get the over 60 grams of sugar that you would, you're going to get 20 teaspoons of sugar here, over 60 grams of sugar from just this one can. And again, you're not going to get a lot of nutrients from that. So that's your basic way to read labels. Always, always, always remember that you need to multiply these numbers by how many servings you're actually consuming. Don't assume that one can is 1 or even just 2 servings. You gotta look at the back and look for that servings per container, and you have to multiply it. You've got to measure out and multiply your numbers to get the most accurate numbers. You're doing yourself an injustice or an inservice if you don't do this. This is where a lot of people kind of get tripped up a lot. They don't realize that they have to multiply it, or they don't realize what a serving size is. And if you're ever curious about serving sizes, you can go to our Facebook page and you can get our guide that basically shows you serving sizes and compares them to everyday items like golf balls and decks of cards. So I hope that was informative for you. If you have any questions, you can always find us at findingyourmomentum.com, and again on Facebook, which is probably even easier, at Momentum Fitness and Health. Just look for the ring with the jumping people in it. And until next time, I hope you find your momentum.